So what cars do Jedis drive? Toyotas. I'll think of another one.
Perfect.
So another video, another Air Max 2 review, and yes, another Air Max 1. And this one, in my opinion, is severely underrated. In today's episode, broskis, we are having a gander at the Nike Air Max 1 Olympic 2024. Now, I don't know about you, but I find the Olympics super boring. I mean, the sprinting's super cool, don't get me wrong. And the weightlifting, yeah, that's debatable. And you could say the Olympic football is all right, it's not too bad. But other than that, the only things I look forward to when the Olympics comes around is the merchandise and the footwear. And we're not going to talk about the opening ceremony to this Olympics. Honestly, something out of a horror film. But with all the Freddy Kruegers aside, this Air Max 1, in my opinion, is one of the best that we've had this year. Now, we've spoken about this time and time again on this channel. The Air Max 1 has been saturated with colorways. I'd say like the past 2 years or so, the Air Max 1 has probably been the most loved Air Max out of the bunch, just in terms of how many colorways are coming out and collaborations as well. Now, it's not a bad thing, but when colorways like this do come out that actually do look good and no one's really raving about it, yeah, that just says it all. Now, from what I can actually remember, there was an Olympic Air Max 1 that came out 10 years ago, and that one, it did look good. But if we're comparing the two, the colorway was super clean on that pair, but this one, the shape and even the colorway, I have to give it to these. But there will be purchase links down below for this pair, so yeah, if you're interested, check it out. Now, in terms of the box, there's nothing really to talk about. It's a red standard Nike one, and you would think for an Olympic inspired colorway, they'd make some effort, but no. Here we are. Anywho, the product sticker does actually say though, Nike Air Max 1, and the official colorway is Obsidian, metallic gold, and white. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, the Air Max 1 for me is one of the trickier Air Max to get right in terms of sizing. That might just be a me problem rather than a you problem, but a lot of Air Max 1s just fit differently for me. But I'm glad to say though, this one in terms of sizing is actually a true to size. So whatever Nike sizing you normally go with, then yeah, just stick to that. Okay, it's time for the gritty and nitty. That is not how you say it. Let's start that again. So it's time for the nitty gritty. Let's have a look at the colorway. What's the material saying? And yeah, what's the QC like? Now, even though the Air Max 1 has slowly crept up in price, for £135 for this kind of colorway is actually not that bad. But before we go any further, Air Max 1 heads are absolutely gonna love this shoe. The shape of this colorway is OG vibes all day long. I just love how slender it is, and the Obsidian colorway is just one you have to love. But what is extra naughty is the hits of gold, the Nike swoosh, and yes, even in the air unit. Now, the Obsidian felt material all around this shoe is absolutely lovely, and it blends even more nicely with the grey panels towards the middle, and those subtle hits of red too just mesh this whole sneaker together. And speaking of mesh, honestly, that toe box is exactly what you want in terms of the look of an Air Max 1 and the feel. But the Mitchell brother aside, this shape to this colorway is exactly what we need. Even those sort of OG hits on the tongue, yes, it's a very flat one, but it's a very comfortable one too. Mostly covered in that mesh with the OG Nike Air Max branding towards the top on that tab as well. And then we've got some more lovely mesh in that sort of grey tint of the sock liner. And then something a little different to the insole. And it's those little accents that make this actual colorway a little different. Now, they've kept it true here to the Air Max 1, the Nike Air does return to the back with that navy Nike swoosh. But if it's one thing I'm glad about, is it's an 87 cut rather than a big bubble. Now, I have been a big fan of the big bubble over the past year or so, but yeah, an 87 cut just hits differently. And there's a lot to like about this white midsole with, yes, that hit of metallic gold in the air units. And to finish up, we have the OG inspired outsole to the Air Max 1 in navy and grey. So with the hundreds and hundreds of Air Max 1s this year alone coming out, is this Air Max 1 a buy or a buy? Now, there was a time where Air Max 1s were becoming extinct. There were a couple years where Nike just sort of forgot about it. And now it looks like we're into the third year of so many Air Max 1s coming out. We're not really that bothered anymore. And every so often there's a colorway that catches your eye, maybe a cheeky collaboration, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, should I? Your bank's saying you shouldn't, but you end up doing it anyway. And this colorway kind of falls into that. But once you get these in hand, you sit there and you're like, yeah, that's what the Air Max 1 should be about. A lovely OG shape and sort of hits to the colorway, and even the Olympic inspired touches. Kind of a shame they didn't do nothing with the box. I mean, that would have made it a little bit more special. But yeah, it takes nothing away from the shoe itself. I am giving the Nike Air Max 1 Olympic 2024 an absolute buy. But comment down below and let me know what you think. Does this Air Max 1 stand out, or is this an absolute miss? Leave all your comments down there and I will pin the best one. But anyways, broskies, thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna love ya and leave you there. Don't forget to do all of that good stuff. Like, comment, share, and yes, until the next episode, take care. Man, I should have been a singer.